Hey guys, Ludicrous here with a full walkthrough for One Button Games 5-in-1. This released on the 26th of July 2023. It was developed by ABA Games and published by Xitilon. It can be found in both the Xbox and Windows stores for $4.99. During launch week, it also has a 20% discount, and yes, if you purchase and complete both platforms, you'll double up your Gamerscore, getting you the double stack for 2,000. As the title of the game suggests, there's 5 mini-games, and all you need to do to complete them is use one button press. I'll go through all of the mini-games, I'll list the achievements for those games, and any hints and tips from my perspective. There's a total of 55 achievements to earn, 200 Gamerscore per minigame, and it took me 30 minutes to get the full Gamerscore, but it may take you a little longer as there is an element of skill involved. So let's jump into our first minigame. We're going to start with B cannon from the top. All you need to do here is tap A. Once you tap A, this is going to move your character left and right. If you hold down A, this is going to fire a laser beam. The longer you hold A down, the longer the laser beam will get. The goal here is to destroy as many golden rings as possible without getting hit by the rings themselves. So just maneuver your guy left and right and hold down A to hit those rings. I suggest keeping him somewhere in the corner so you don't get hit or less likely to get hit. You'll also notice on the right hand side of the screen I've listed 4 achievements for B cannon. These are the targets you want to aim for. If you get these, you should also get the other achievements for this game, giving you the 200 Gamerscore. So first of all, you want to try and get 15 pieces on the screen. Hopefully this just comes naturally for you as you destroy the bigger circles and reduce them down to a smaller size. Next up, you'll probably get the destroy 200 rings. This doesn't have to be in one game, this can be done over multiple sittings. And then down to the last tricky 2, which is get 500 points. This is done of course by destroying all the rings on screen and moving through the various levels. Eventually you'll probably be left with survive for 2 minutes. This is easily done by clearing down the very first wave, leaving one tiny ring. Once you've got one ring left on screen, just run around the corners of the screen, avoiding that. And then once you've avoided it for 2 minutes, the achievement of course will pop. Then double check your achievement score. If you have 200, then you're free to move on to the next game. I'll leave you with the remainder of my B cannon playthrough, and then I'll pick it up once we move to the next minigame called Thunder. We then move on to our second minigame called Thunder. Tapping A will change the direction of your character and it'll just continue running in that direction. What we need to do here is collect the sparks that drop on the floor while avoiding getting struck by lightning. Lightning strikes at the first grey point that hits the floor, and if you happen to be stood near it or on it, you will get killed by the lightning strike. So just do your best to stay away from the grey lines, especially the one that's going to hit the floor first, and then pay attention to the objectives or the achievements we have on the right side of the screen. So you'll need to collect 150 sparks. These are dropped on the floor once the lightning strike is finished, and they disappear within a couple of seconds, so make sure you dip in there quickly and pick those sparks up. This achievement is also cumulative, so you don't have to get the 150 sparks in one playthrough, you can do it over multiple games. The next goal you want to aim for is get a score of 1000. This of course is just surviving the lightning strikes and picking up the sparks until you've got a score of 1000. After that, you want to try and survive 2 minutes. Again, avoid getting killed by the lightning strikes, and you'll need to survive for a full 2 minutes within one game. And then what I had left over was get killed by 5 and 10 lightning strikes. So this is you getting intentionally killed by the lightning strikes by aiming to walk into the very first grey line that hits the deck. Get yourself intentionally killed 10 times and you should get that achievement pop. Once you've got 200 Gamerscore for this game, and if you're following along with my guide in the same order, you'll be at 400 Gamerscore and we'll be able to move on to the next minigame. We're now going to move on to our third mini game called UD Cave. The controls for this one are holding A will move your character or vehicle to the left. Naturally, it's going to sway to the right, and if you don't press anything, it'll hit the walls and explode. So we're just gently tapping A to keep our vehicle in the middle of the line. It's also mirrored on the other side, so just be aware that you want to try and keep both of the little characters in the middle of the screen for as long as possible until you get the objectives complete on the right hand side. So the first one I'm going to mention is get a 10 times bonus. So every time you pick up one of these little dollar symbols, you'll get a 1 times multiplier. You just need to collect 10 of those within one run. I suggest leaving the ones against the wall and just go for the ones in the very middle of the screen. 9 times out of 10 you will end up getting yourself killed by the ones against the side of the walls. Next up is collect 30 stashes. This again is cumulative, so it can be done over multiple runs. Getting a score of 2,500, so picking up the stashes to get your multiplier and then progressing as far through the game as possible will easily get you that 2,500 score. And finally, the last achievement to mention for this minigame is to get to level 10. This is purely time based, so the longer you survive, the further you go through the levels, and it'll speed up the game. It'll take you roughly 2 minutes to go to level 10, so just try and keep your little character in the middle of the screen. I find myself just tapping A gently every so often just to keep him wobbling around in the middle of the track, and hopefully your mirror image on the other side is doing the same and you don't touch the walls. As you level up, the track does speed up and gets a little bit intimidating, but again, just keep wobbling around in the middle of the track and you should survive to level 10. Once you've completed those 4 achievements on the right hand side, you should have 200 Gamerscore on this minigame, 600 in total, and ready to move on to the next one. The fourth minigame that we're going to cover is S-Lanes. The controls for this one is just to hold A to move forward and shoot. Naturally, your little ship's going to move between each lane going top downwards, and then if you hold A, he'll stop on that line and start firing bullets. The objective here is to stop the little red ships from reaching the end of the lane. Shooting them will destroy them and they'll drop little gold coins. If you just happen to be in that lane when the gold coin reaches you, you'll pick it up and get a little bit of a multiplier. This is probably the hardest of the 5 mini games. I found myself completely ignoring the coins and just focusing on making sure those red ships don't reach the end of the lane. You'll also notice that some of the lanes speed up. Make sure you prioritize those, otherwise they're going to run into the end of the lane at a super speed and get you killed. The 4 achievements that you want to focus on is destroy 200 ships. This is going to come naturally and it's cumulative over multiple games, so don't worry about that one too much. The next one is to get a 25 bonus, so every time you pick up a coin, for a period of time you'll keep a multiplier. Eventually it will drop if you don't pick up another coin, so it's best to pick these up in a fairly quick succession. You probably get to a point where you're sat at about a 20 multiplier and you want to push for 25. So you're going to shoot 5 ships hopefully in a line and grab 5 coins very quickly before you finish or lose the game. Next up is surviving for 1 minute. You're going to be naturally going for this anyway as you're just trying to get the highest score possible. And the highest score for this game you want to get is 1000. Once you've survived for 1 minute, got 1000 score and got that 25 coin bonus, you should be then at another 200 gamer score for this minigame, moved on to 800 in total and ready to move on to the very last game. The fifth and final game here is CATE. The controls for this one is simply tapping A. As you tap A, your character will change direction and also shoot. The objective for this game is to destroy as many green ships as possible as they come on screen. They'll enter the screen in a nice uniformed straight line, but as they hit the edge of the screen, they will bounce off at an angle, making it a little bit more difficult to avoid and kill them. So you'll see a little later in this video, what I start doing is lining myself up with the line as it either comes in or it passes me. So either attacking it front on or directly behind, lining your little white character up and shooting down the whole line of the green dots, killing them all in one shot. It's also handy to note that you do get a multiplier depending on how many enemies you kill within one shot. So if you manage to kill 5 with one of the bullets, you will get a 5 times multiplier, and as you'll see on the right hand side there is an achievement for getting 10 with one shot. That'll come at later waves as the lines do get gradually longer. So the 4 achievements I've got listed there is to destroy 100. This again is cumulative, so you get this over multiple runs. Getting a 10 times combo, which I briefly touched on. All you want to do is line up your character with a line of green dots and make sure that you can kill at least 10 with one round. Just do your best to line yourself up with a long line, and if you're lucky there'll be another line coming in behind it and it'll go through 10 of the green dots, giving you a 10 times combo. The high score for this level is 300, so again, doing your multipliers and killing as many of the green dots on screen, you'll eventually get to 300. And then finally, the last achievement you'll probably get for this minigame is survive for a full 2 minutes in one game. Just keep out the way of their pathing, and if possible, come in from behind rather than face on. Keep the numbers low so destroy as many as you can and don't get too overwhelmed. And then once you've survived for the full 2 minutes, that should hopefully give you another 200 for this minigame and the full 1000 Gamerscore. Like I've done with the other minigames, I'm going to let this play out in full and let you see all the achievements pop. If you found this video useful, drop it a like, and if you want to continually see more content like this from myself, please do subscribe.